Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thank y'all so much for stopping by again today for this special live stream. I said I was going to have one a month, the other one cut off on us kind of early, but I'm not going to be on here that long. Shout out to the NTZ crew. I'm giving y'all a long break. Appreciate y'all, man, and everything y'all do. All my old heads, there's Reginald Wallace. What's up? I know Doubtful Genius is probably on here. All of my 4 quarter members. Thank y'all for y'all support. We'll have a live stream, members only live stream this week, and also my Patreon members. Any new viewers and subscribers joining us today, welcome. And anybody catching this on on replay, the peso is 58.26. It's staying up there past that 58. Maybe it'll get to 60. I don't know. We always have a topic. This is the Philippines. Take it or leave it. It is what it is. You can't change the Philippines, but the Philippines can change you. Unfiltered Black Abroad said, honestly, the Philippines is a great country with places like Vietnam and Thailand. Give them a run for their money. Most certainly more safer. The only drawback is that many don't speak English. Well, it's all subjective, really. It's all subjective. Why even compare them? Just go. You can enjoy all of them. There's a reason you married a Filipina. You didn't marry a Vietnamese. You didn't marry a Thai woman. I don't get it. But it's all subjective when you say stuff like that. What's up, Andre? And we ain't gonna get into a pissing match about what's the greatest retirement destination. I don't even play those games anymore. Just be happy wherever you are. The way I look at it. You ain't gonna win nothing. But this is the Philippines, man. I do want to say that, man, there was another earthquake last night. I'm coming out of the bathroom about 1 o'clock. Man, it got to shaking. It didn't shake long, maybe a second or two, but I was like, man, here we go again. But come to find out, the epicenter was in Bago City again. The same place where all that damage and all that loss of life was less than 2 weeks ago. Back to back to back to back and keep on going earthquakes over here. But this is the Philippines. This is what you got to understand before you go running over here. He said, good morning, wonderful people from beautiful Philippines. Oh, good morning, wonderful people from beautiful Philippines. Eating breakfast and watching KC versus Detroit while waiting on the live stream. Yeah, I watched I can't watch a whole football game anymore like I used to. There's Jacob Chanje. I don't know if Michael Beecher Life is going to be on here today. He's been missing in action. I guess he's taking care of business over there. But I see where Cleveland Browns, they still stumbling, man. It's like anybody but Shadua. We're going to put in there. And it's a shame. That used to be my team until they moved to Baltimore. So now I kind of follow Baltimore only because, Lamar Jackson's there. But yeah, man, we having all these earthquakes. I've never seen anything like it in all of my almost 17 years over here, man. Usually when you get an earthquake like that, it's like few and far between. But now it's like every day, man. Believe it or not, look in the news. It's been one just about every day. Now I'm talking about these aren't aftershocks. These are earthquakes. And for you praying people, pray for those people, man. But y'all get on me because I question it. I'm like, well, hell, you allowed a earthquake to hit the city 2 weeks ago and killed all them innocent people. A lot of them in their bed, and you send another one back through there. Well, you didn't finish the job. you know, it's sad, man, but you know, it is what it is. No, no, see, you don't know what you're talking about, Q. He said there's a reason why the tourism is plummeting in the Philippines versus places like Malaysia and Vietnam. Now, if you do your research, you'll know that the reason the numbers are down in the Philippines because of the South Koreans and Chinese. The top two visitors to the Philippines, they've uh, instructed their their citizens, you know, to not come here, you know, because they said, hey, you know, we got a lot of unsolved robberies and murders of our citizens. So, you know, the best way to do it, see, they listen. Not like Americans. We don't listen to nobody. Okay, but that's the reason why the tourism is down in the Philippines, but the Westerners are still coming. Do your research, Q. Quit coming on here with this stupid stuff, man. You got a channel of your own. You should know this. There's more Americans coming to the Philippines now than ever. Okay? So it's not plummeting. But we're not on here to argue, guys. Let's have a discussion today. Take that stuff on your channel, man. You know, because you always, you know, that's why you're different. I can't understand it when we come on, when we have like a regular live stream and then like a members only live stream. You're like crickets in the members only live stream. You're like a choir boy. You're showing out, man. That's what you're doing. Like, dude, you know, you show your immaturity. But that's not why the numbers are plummeting. Hey, what's up, Manila Gorilla? He said, I finally caught you online, man. I appreciate it. Appreciate it. But everything that's going on over here, all we're worried about is the woman. The least thing that we need to be worried about over here. When man, I was 8 years old when my mother told me that. She said, you know, if you take care of yourself, that's the least thing you got to worry about as a woman. And my mother knew what she was talking about. I'm pretty sure she told my sister the same thing. But that's all we worry about. I do want to shout out Mike's Philippine Retirement for that video he posted. I guess it was yesterday, maybe day before, about one of his friends had a coma. I mean a stroke, a serious stroke. He don't know where he is, and the Filipinos there by his side, which she should be. That's his wife. They signed up for that. But the bigger lesson is the health, guys. You know, we're not listening to that. Do you really want to spend your fourth quarter like that in a bed like that? He don't even know where he is. He's somewhere between life and death. But we always think, oh, it's going to be the other guy till it's us. You know, my heart goes out to her and him because they're going to go through it. He's been in that bed, what, she say, 6 months ago? Come on, you know. But we don't think about stuff like that. All we worry about is a relationship. Well, they're over here because they need you. They need your money. Okay? They need your financial support. But I thought that was a good video because he reminded us. But he'll take some criticism for that. Because if I hear another person get on here and talk about the vlogger said this, the vlogger said that, the vloggers lied, man, I'm going to scream. Y'all pitiful, man. You hold vloggers to a higher standard than you hold yourself. We're just telling our experiences over here. We don't know it all, man. And what got me was, you know, you can't watch all vloggers. You're not watching all the vloggers. And if you're going to say that, then call out the name. Say, okay, I was watching Sunshine Shows the other day and he said this, or I said that. You can't paint all vloggers with the same brush, but that's what they do. The guys on the video, I don't know the name of the video. I think a foreigner asking questions. Yeah, it's the name of it. So he's interviewing a guy. And I usually just scroll through that stuff. And just because I disagree with somebody doesn't mean I troll them and make videos about them and stuff like that. But the guy says, oh, the vloggers lied because they said all Filipinos speak English. Knowing good and damn well, if I said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. A vast majority of the population over here can speak English, but they don't speak English over here, guys. And you know, put a 1 in the comments if you heard me say that. That you'll be in a birthday party and they're going to speak their language. They're at home. English is not their primary language, okay? And they're not obligated to speak English. But he said we don't say it, okay? He says that we lie. Who lies? Hey, BS Business, thanks for that super chat. He said, money well spent. He said, I love the Philippines. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Unfiltered Black Abroad says, being ostracized for voicing my opinion on the tourism department. It's crazy work there, man. Did you take your vitamin? No, this is you over the course of however long you've been following me. You don't do your research. You just spit out stuff. And you got to realize there's 100 people watching here. You know, if I read your comment, you know, that means they're going to see it. I'll bring it up on there, you know, and then you say the reason is plummeting. Why is it plummeting? You didn't give us a reason. You're just making general statements. Like as much as you like the Philippines, places like Vietnam and Thailand have it over there. And that's why the Philippines tourism is plummeting. Well, why is it plummeting? Tell us why. Don't just come out with those statements like that. I appreciate your support, but, you know, I see a difference, man, in you. I'm not ostracizing you. You do this stuff all the time. I'll be trying to, you know, give you some, what do you call it when you try to help somebody's channel? This is stuff you should be saying on your channel. Don't say it on mine, man. I'll be trying to give you some exposure. Hey, McRae, thanks for that super sticker. I appreciate it. But yeah, all we worry about is a woman. And then they want to blame everything on the vloggers. Look, man, take responsibility for your own vacation or your own retirement. Do you think I'm going to put my retirement, my vacation in the hands of one of you guys? I'm not going to do it. As much as I respect most of my audience, I'm not going to do it. That goes on my shoulders. That's my responsibility to read and do the research about what I think I need to know about the Philippines. Get as much information as I possibly can. I'm telling you this because I didn't do it. I made the big mistake. Imagine getting on a plane coming to the Philippines. I could have landed in Swaziland, Honolulu, Tawi. I didn't do any research. So I'm asking you to do it. There was no sunshine shows around for me. And I'm just talking about my life over here. You know, but it's crazy. It's crazy, though. No matter what you hear about the Philippines, it is what it is, ladies and gentlemen, okay? You're not going to change it. The Philippines can change you, but you're not going to change the Philippines. Okay, so whatever you hear about the women, the infrastructure, the government, the poverty, everything that you hear, the wild dogs, the roosters, the infrastructure, all of that stuff, it is what it is, man. Okay, take it or leave it. But don't come over here with all that complaining like you didn't know and all these better places and all that stuff. Okay, we already know that. But this is the Philippines. The earthquakes, the typhoons, and all that, the landslides. You need to know as much as you possibly can so you can make an informed decision. But don't blame it on the vloggers. I mean, how silly is that? When in fact, the Philippines is a whole lot better than what we say it is. Because it carries a lot of us. Y'all don't understand how unprepared men are when they get here. They don't know nothing. They don't know how to catch the bus. They don't know how to catch the ferry. They don't know where they are. All they know is the girl met him at the airport. That's all they know. Very unprepared. They walking in, they living in places like Tacloban and thinking, oh, this is paradise. They're very unprepared. And if it was as bad as what a lot of people say, y'all watch the same videos I watch, then why are so many men successful over here and happy? Okay, and living their best lives over here. This is what we want to talk about today. You know, everybody's gonna have their 2 cents, but if you don't have the experience that you want to have, don't blame it on vloggers, man. This is the Philippines. Okay, you should know better. Yeah, you 60 years old, 70, 80 years old. But every day you can go on somebody's video and they'll tell you, oh, vlogger lied. No, we're not. You're not looking at all the vloggers. You're not watching all the vloggers, man. And then we worry about stuff we have no business worrying about. It's out of your control. You come over and worry about corruption and all that stuff, man. You're wasting your time. I'm telling you now, man, that's a long ass trip. Okay, for you to be coming over here bullshit. I'm sorry, but it is. But yeah, because in my humble opinion, we're giving these women too much credit. I said we, as in myself included. But I've told you over and over because of my experience of being over here. They don't have any special powers. If they did, they wouldn't use them on you. They would use them on themselves to get themselves out of these situations that they find themselves in. But we hype them up, and a lot of guys they do come over here and find something they never had. But that's not gonna be your solution. It's not gonna be your solution, man. Shit gets old real quick. It's not gonna be your solution. And another thing I want to say, because I'm waiting for this uh super sticker to get off of here so that I can read y'all's comments. I'm grateful for every moment I'm alive. But every day over here is not a party, man. Every day is not a party over here. I told y'all what I do on most days. Most of the time I'm at home, relaxing, kicking back, reading, watching videos, listening to music, fucking. Okay, let's just be honest. But then I do my morning walk. I go to the gym. Every now and then, one of my friends, our subscribers, will come, in town. I hang with them or whatever, go out to eat with them or something like that. But that's it. That's my retirement. My number one thing is not to work. Okay, it's not to be on that hamster wheel. And because Confident Voice speaks, he's a friend of mine now. He talks about his coworkers. And I'm like, that's one of the main reasons I got off that hamster wheel, man. You can't deal with, disgruntled coworkers. You don't know what's going on at home, and they bring it to work. Are they political beliefs, religious beliefs, and all of that? Instead of just coming to work, doing their job, and going on home. But yeah, that's mostly what your life's gonna be like. I shout out my buddy Mo. He's a free diver. But I don't think he free dives every day. I don't think that would be healthy. And my buddy Ace Parnell from Vegas, who scuba dives. He's 81 years old, 82, scuba dives. I don't think he does that every day, but he's got a boat too. He's got one of them bunker boats. They go island hopping anytime they want, but he doesn't do that every day. It's not a party every day. And this is what you need to know. This is the Philippines. Oh, I'm sorry, but it is. If you want that nightlife and all that stuff, there's places for it. But yeah, I don't know what's going on. This pisses me off with this. I don't know why this. the super chat won't get off of here. It was like the other day, the same thing. It just sat there. I may have to, let me see if my computer, let me see if I can get my computer working. It works, but I mean, my camera, I think my camera is broke. Because I can't deal with it. You know, it's not going to sabotage my video 8 minutes in. What? Look at me. Oh, did you get that in the mail? No, it's from the delivery. That's what I mean, the delivery. Yeah. Crazy. Wait, guys, I'm trying to do this for y'all's benefit. Because I bought this is a new camera that I bought. But the last time I was on here, I was having audio problems. But we'll see. Yeah, that thing's still up there. Yeah, hold on, guys. I was watching a video the other day, which I've said it before myself. You know, a lot of times what happens is our expectations are too damn high. I don't know what y'all looking for. What are you looking for when you come to places like this? Even as nice as Thailand is, I've been to Thailand. I can't party every day. I don't have that kind of money. For those 5 days, I basically did the same thing in Thailand as I do in the Philippines. Okay, let me see something. I'm going to see if y'all can hear me. Hello? Hello? Yeah, let's see. Well, what I can do, oh, okay, yeah. Wait. Okay. Can y'all hear me now? Let's see something. There you go. Can y'all hear me? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Give me a 1 if you can hear me. Let me go back and hit him. What's up, Cisco? Give me a 1 if y'all can hear me. Okay, thank y'all. Yeah, we back. We back in business now. Thank y'all so much. Cisco said, I'll be retiring in December, Cal. If I end up in the Philippines, it would be in large part due to me seeing you live there successfully. Thanks for doing the hard work. Well, I appreciate it, man. You know, I just want to I think vloggers, we give people an idea of what life is going to be like wherever we are in any particular place. My life is not going to be your life. There's the super sticker that was holding me up. Thank you, Amic Ray. Appreciate that. Wait, see now, cause this is what the live stream is. This is why I like doing them. I like to read y'all's comments. It's not for me to be sitting on here blabbing. I like to interact with y'all. But I see my buddy, Confident Voice Speaks. There he is. Thanks for that super chat. He said, hit the like button for our brother. It helps the spin wheel. It also helps us too. Absolutely. But let me go back and get some of y'all's comments. Yeah, the Philippines is what it is, man. You know, and you can come over here and have a good time. Like I said, you know, people talk about Thailand, all those places. Jeffrey Tatter's on here now. He was a Thailand man 100%. he switched to the Philippines. You got to ask guys like that. If the Philippines is so damn bad, why would you switch from Thailand to the Philippines? You know, he said, yeah, we don't need more sick grandpas. Well, you know, and he makes my point for me. Imagine a fat slob like him coming over here, getting a woman. You know, but you're right. He said, Unc has one of the best intros on YouTube. Hey, thanks, man. But I'm going to be honest with you. That was Blizzard Abroad who made that. And I've got the whole song on my channel. It's called Put Some Respect on His Name, Sunshine Shoulders. It really is a great song, man. He said, CGA, he said, why travel to the Philippines for women? They have enough in California. Yeah, but man, look, y'all think I'm playing. I wrote this down. Okay, if y'all can read this. It says, Filipinas in America versus Filipinas in the Philippines. That's a big difference. Y'all can keep them women over there, man. Yeah. I don't know. Has he ever been over here? I got big respect. Are you talking about Greg Adams, the vlogger? But I think he missed that. Yeah, he missed the boat on that one. He said, my wife gets mad at me when I say her more than once. Well, she's going to say it. You're certainly going to say it. Yeah, he says, Isaac says, my wife and her family all know English but speak Tagalog amongst themselves. Yeah, you know, it was the craziest thing when I heard him say that. I'm like, you can't, well, you don't watch all vloggers, first of all. But I know I've said it 1,000 times because it's the truth. You know, it's one of the things that I tell you, yeah, that you're going to run up against over here, the language, because you can't speak all the languages over here. You know, I've got people, there's a guy, Raymond Walker, he's probably on here now. He speaks fluent Tagalog. But hell, he's the exception, man. Honestly. And it's a good thing he can speak it because where he lives, that's what they speak. They don't speak English. Although they can. I'm in my own house, man. They speak Messiah in here, even Booby. Now, Booby will come in here when she wants something from me. She'll speak to me in English. But then when she goes back out there, it's Messiah. He said, Cal, you have to ignore ignorant comments by non-travelers. I went to London years ago and none of them spoke American. Hey, what's up, Laura? I see you getting a lot of interaction on your channel. He says, I'm 30 and love my stay in the Philippines last year, but currently settled in Vietnam. I'm never going to touch a big back in the States ever again. I hear you, man. Yeah, here's Raymond. He said, I love life here, even with all the earthquakes. I can only worry about what I can control. And that's the best attitude to have. But we come over here, we worry about things, Raymond, that we can't control. Yeah, I'm sorry, it's in the Philippines. And like I told you, you ain't seen nothing yet. You've only been here, what, 6 months or something? What's up, Juice? Man, you got a lot to learn over here, but you got the right attitude. A lot of these guys don't have the right attitude, man. Yeah, but see, it doesn't matter, man. I'm just saying that if you look at the numbers, Q, you're going to see that the Chinese and South Koreans, they pumped the brakes on coming to the Philippines, and it's because their embassies have told them, hey, you're not safe over here. But the American numbers are going up, man. Okay, the Australian numbers are going up. All the Western countries are going up, but it's not enough. Okay, so you need to tell the whole story. What's up, Marlon? He's a Cal, retired Army veteran here. It's always good to see and hear from you. Keep it up, brother. Hey, thank you, man. I'll be out here for y'all, for real. What's up, Michael Alexander? He said they put the blame on everything and everyone instead of looking at themselves. That's what I put down here, man. This is what I got. I said, take control of your own retirement. Do you think I'm going to put my retirement in the hands of one of you guys or one of these vloggers? Sometimes it is good to just come on over here because too much information, man, is no good either. But, you know, it's the easy route, man, when you sit back and blame vloggers, man. The guys are trying to do, we do the best we can. But most of the time, we're just telling our experience over here. It's like, okay, if you want to come over here, here's what it's going to be. I try to tell you about a lot of mistakes I made. And a lot of mistakes I see other people make. See, this is it too. He says, too many guys come over here and expect it to be like where they came from. That defeats the purpose, Manila Gorilla. I wanted to change. I didn't want more of what I was getting over there, man. I didn't. I don't know. I can only speak for myself. You know, but the main reason people come over here is the least reason you should be coming over here. Look, if you don't listen to anything else for however long I'm going to be on here, look. Don't come over here for a woman, man. You're gonna cheat yourself. That's not why you come over here. You're gonna have that, okay? What makes you think you're not? When you look on the videos and you see guys like me, I'm not gonna win beauty contests or anything like that. You see everybody over here, these older guys, much older than me, with much younger wives and girlfriends than I've got. What makes you think it won't happen for you? But we put too much emphasis on that. So then when you get over here, you don't know anything. I mean, there's guys who sat at my kitchen table. They know nothing. I'm like, dude, you all the way over here in the Philippines? All he's got is some woman with him. He knows nothing. Okay? Trust me. I've seen it. If I've seen it one time, I've seen it 100. You're working backwards, man. You're hustling backwards. That's not what you come 8,000 miles for. He says, I've been to the Philippines twice, and despite the research, I'm still unprepared to live and retire there. Yeah, it's a lot, man, that you have to deal with and reconcile with and come to terms with and all of that. I just did a video. I was just talking about 5 things. And some guy says, oh, that's only 2% of people. Surely more people have those 5 things. They don't. But I mean, even people just coming over here, Pete, for vacation. Once the girl meets them, now they lost. They don't even know how to catch the bus. They don't even download the Grab on their phone to catch the Grab. They know nothing because all the focus is in the wrong place. On some woman that's going to be here, that's sitting here waiting for you to get here. They are. Okay, she's not going to show it. But in her mind, she's like, come on, hurry. You know, they're not going to show it. Remember, the party don't start till you get here. But there's so much other stuff that you have to worry about. That, man, you're lucky the Philippines is better than what the reputation. Because it carries a lot of you guys over here. He said, man, Unc, I'm about to do a deep dive on my DR trip, so I'm going to be away for a minute. Got so much love for you, Unc. Thoughts become things, and I'm following your lead, becoming one with the DR. Yeah. It's going to be the same. The only thing that saves a lot of guys in the DR, they're not that far from home. They're not that far from home. Yes, Cisco's only got, hell, he's got less than 2 months. And that's when the real work starts, man. Because what I came to realize was this. while I was working, man, most of my day was playing for me. You know, it wasn't about self-discipline, it was about discipline. I had to be there to pay the bills and everything like that. Now, when you get retired, it's going to take self-discipline. Okay? You got to push yourself to go walking, push yourself to go to the gym, push yourself to do the things that you know you need to do. Are you going to end up in that bed like that man? I'm not making light of his situation, but it happens to too many of us over here, man. The guy's only 70 years old. That's young. He's somewhere in between life and death. He don't even know where he is. And the woman sits there and she has a vigil by his bed. You know, she's 39, he's 70. But we don't think it can be us. Why wait till you get retired to start planning for your retirement, to start eating better, to start exercising, to start doing the things that's going to help you grow as a human being? You continue to grow until you die. Remember, if anything stagnant dies. You know. But yeah, you don't want to spend your fourth quarter like that. Now, he's been in that bed for 6 months. He's probably got bed sores. You know, tell him what, you know. And, you know, they said, oh, yeah, the Philippines is by his side, as she should be. As she should be. I was glad he posted that video because it shows the other side. It shows us what the woman has to deal with. We always get the side of the man. Oh, look at him. He's 70. He got a 39-year-old wife. But I already told you, it could be the beginning of the end for you when you get over here. When you start dealing with these young women like that, man. What do you know about dealing with young women? I know it looks good. She looks good, you know. Psychologically, it helps you, but can you really handle dealing with a younger woman? In his case, 31 years younger than him? I don't think so. He said, I really liked your last video, Cal. Can you do another one like that? Sure, man. You know, I make videos as stuff comes across my mind. But yeah, I will because, you know, one thing that you do want to know that we can help you with, people who live over here, is tips. We can give you some tips, some things we do to save money. And I gave y'all a few yesterday. And this kind of show you San Carlos City a little bit more than I do. It's a little bit bigger, you know. I'm going to show y'all the house that we were renting for 7,000 pesos. I'll go over there when I come from the gym today and kind of show you that, you know, because the guy says, oh, you misspoke, man, when you said your food is going to be about 1 to 1.5 times your rent. No, I didn't. I said, you never been to the Philippines. There's still $200 rent over here. And that was just a suggestion. Okay? You got to realize I spend about that much. But remember, I'm buying groceries too, not just food. You got to buy deodorant, toothpaste, lotion, and all that stuff. Toothbrushes. We buy a whole set of toothbrushes every month. But this is just some things that you can get an idea. Okay, if your rent is $300, then, you know, depending on who it is, if it's just you might can get away with 1-to-1. $300 for food. But if you got that woman there, it's 1.5 or 2 times. It's just a suggestion, that's all. She said, a comfortable home, good food, and a pet cat. I want a cat. And this is exactly what I was talking about yesterday, Laura. A simple life. You can live a simple life over here for not a lot of money. But for some reason, 60, 70, 80-year-old men, we revert back to our high school days. Our college days, like, you really gonna come over here and think you're gonna go out every night to the disco every night and all that? You think you're gonna screw the woman 3 or 4 times a day and all that stuff? There's fantasy and then there's reality. I just try to show you a little bit of reality. Most of your days really are going to be spent around the house, man. So find something that you like to do around your house. You're not going to be going out every night, because if you do, you're going to end up in that bed like him. You know, I feel sorry for that man. He said that's not a bad agenda. It really isn't, man. It's retirement for me. Yeah, Cisco getting ready to retire, man. He says, I'll be a paying member, Uncle. I'm going to be away for a minute, getting ready for my trip. I thank you eternally for thoughts become things. I got love for the Sunshine Shows community. Be blessed. Yeah, that's a hell of a video, man. It changed my life. He said, the Philippines isn't all that, man. Who said it was all that? But you're over here. You married a Filipino. Make that make sense to me. Go somewhere else then. You know, it's all subjective. He said, especially compared to other Southeast Asian countries. I know we don't like to compare, but why not compare? If guys can explore better options, then it should be talked about. Well, we can talk about it all you want. But you got to understand something, that it's all subjective. It's whatever you like. I just told you Jeffrey Tatter was a big Thailand man. He hasn't been to the last few times I'm going to say 4 times he's been out of the country, because he's over in Japan. He's been to the Philippines, not Thailand. It depends on what you want. I want to be welcome, man. Okay? That's all I'm saying. Yeah, it all depends on what you're looking for. One thing the Philippines doesn't get credit for is the peace and quiet. I'm at my stage, man. I want the peace and quiet. Okay, I don't be stumbling over expats fighting, man. See all the stuff that doesn't get reported in some of these countries, like Thailand, certainly. Pattaya, certainly. Expats fighting each other, man. Getting drunk and all that stuff like that. But no matter where you decide, there you are. Okay, you're responsible for your own happiness. There's nothing outside of you, Q, that's going to make you happy. No destination. Hell, you in America, the greatest country in the world. Certainly the richest country that's ever existed. You can't be happy there. What makes you think you're going to come somewhere else and be happy? It just depends on the individual. But to make sweeping statements like that, certainly from a man who's living here, who started a family here, he's married here, getting ready to have a baby here, and now he said, you sound like you got regrets. But look, you're 30 years old, man. That's all I'm saying. I agree with you. At 30 years old, I was still on the hamster wheel. I wasn't even thinking about the Philippines or Thailand or all these other, Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, and all these other places. He says, amazing you can read without reading glasses. Yeah, I've been fortunate, but I'm in good health. I would say great health. But the only reason that I can say, that I can think of, rather, Laura, is when I stop drinking and getting high and smoking and all that other destructive stuff. Okay, that's probably the reason why my eyesight is better than Marilyn's. Marilyn's 43. She cannot see, but she won't go get glasses, you know. And I'm like, you're going to look good in the damn glasses. They worry about that stuff. He said, yeah, right. Co-workers bring their problems to work. Yeah, one of the first mass murderers or mass shootings happened in Louisville, Kentucky. The Standard Reviewer, where this guy was having problems. He brought it to work and killed 9 people, including himself. It was one of the first ones. I want to say, well, let me see. What year was that? Look it up. The Standard Review. It's on the tip of my tongue, I can't say it, but yeah, and then I remember all the post office shootings. We act like we didn't forget about that. I'm old enough to remember, man. It seemed like just like these school shootings. Well, before the school shootings, there was these post office shootings. I believe it's all copycat over there now because you never heard of a school shooting. Now all of a sudden, hell, every month it's a school shooting. But it used to be post office shootings. Every week, the news comes on. That was the leading story. The post office, somebody done shot up the post office. He said, we all know why we go to the Philippines. We know why Western women don't return to the Philippines. We should just be honest about everything. Yeah, but the reason that you come to the Philippines is one thing. The reason we stay is another. This is why I'm telling you, yeah, okay, I can't tell somebody, oh, don't come here for the women when, the cat's out of the bag, literally. You're coming over here for that. But you're going to get the shock of your life. Okay, that's going to come so easy for you. And then you're going to be like, okay, now what? I mean, there's guys here right now in the Philippines right now who don't have a clue. But they got the woman with them. But 8,000 miles away, they don't know where to go. They don't know what to do. You literally got to hold them by the hand like a little child. They're very fortunate that the Philippines is the way it is. It carries men like that. It carries them. They're welcome. They don't have to worry about somebody robbing them. Everything's in English. Even if the people won't speak to you, at least you can read the signs. You can read the menu. A lot of things are close by. Very affordable. It carries a lot of us because we come over here unprepared. Yeah, chasing a woman. And, women are different now. Because I've got a friend and his wife. And they're, I won't say their name. They're from Arkansas, Little Rock, Arkansas. They came to my, meet and greet in Louisville. And these are successful people, man. They may be still traveling around Southeast Asia now. They're looking for a place to retire. But they came to the Philippines. The man liked it. The woman didn't like it, because, women are different. Their tastes are different. But she does like Thailand. These are educators, man. They're well off. They could live anywhere in the world they want. They got a nice life in America. But it's just getting too expensive. It's just getting too chaotic. But yeah, you're right. A lot of women, but more and more women are starting to like the Philippines because of the cost of living. It's in stark contrast. You can't argue that. No matter where you go over here in Southeast Asia, the cost of living is stark contrast. The guy didn't even know, man. Look, there's places here in the Philippines, nice places, that you can rent for $200. You can't do that in America. I mean, nowhere. You can't live in the ghetto, the slums for $200 a month without the help of the government. When I left in 2018, the big deal was these boarding houses for these, what they call them, halfway houses, they were calling them, where guys were, they were trying to get their lives together through recovery houses. Hell, they were $85 a week, and you shared a room with 2 or 3 other snoring men with funky feet that, they're snoring at night, and there's no Wi-Fi, there's no TV, old stained up mattress, and that's $85 a week. That was in 2018. But see, this is what I'm talking about, Q. Why do you worry about stuff like this? We can't control that stuff. I mean, it's not hurting my feelings that people choose other places besides the Philippines, I enjoy my life over here. I'm not gonna lie, I do. It's a whole lot better than where I was coming from. And there's no utopia anywhere because you know more about the Philippines than you do these other countries. So you can speak on it like that. But go to these other countries. Just go there instead of what you're hearing. See, this is the problem that vloggers run into. Y'all hear too much stuff. You don't experience it. You never been boots on the ground. But here's Thomas. You said the same thing. He said, "What's up, everybody? Earthquakes are becoming the norm over here now. Holy shit. Yeah, it's crazy. Back to back to back to back. Um, I've never seen anything like it. I mean, almost every day it's a volcano. I mean, an earthquake. Even the damn volcano's starting to act up now. It's emitting ash and stuff out here now. Something came over my phone. I was like, man, what in the world is going on? It's here. Yeah. But that's why I made the video the other day. You know, people are having second thoughts. That wasn't clickbait. You know, because there's more to know about this place than maybe what they're researching. A lot of people never even thought that earthquakes was a problem over here. I certainly didn't think there was a problem. I know we've had earthquakes over here since I've been coming, but it's becoming a problem now. Much more serious than what I thought. I mean, and then once you been through a real earthquake like we were, was that 2 weeks ago? Every time something starts moving, man, you get paranoid, man. It's scary, man. You know, it's scary, man. And then last night, here it comes again. You know, I'm like, damn. You know, you can't sleep. I didn't go back to sleep till about 3. It happened at 1. It's just pure tiredness put me back to sleep. It wasn't because my anxiety wasn't roaring out of control. You know, you just can't prepare for stuff like that. I mean, every day it's been an earthquake, man. On top of all the other stuff. You know, but all in all, it's still a good place to live. You know, I would say come over here for yourself. I always tell you that. You know, bloggers are trying to, they're giving you their experience. I don't see, like I said, I can't watch all the vloggers, but I don't see where they're lying so much when they say, it's certainly about relationships. What are they lying about? Because that's really all y'all punching on. What are they lying about when you say, I mean, how much more proof do you need? When you see so many, and you're going to see, okay, whatever you see on YouTube, imagine seeing 100 times that when you get boots on the ground over here. I mean, how much more? You can't say they lying about that. They're not lying about that. Okay, that's true. I don't understand why they say they're lying, but I don't watch them all, so I don't know what they're talking about. You know, you can live like a king over here. I'm living like a king. That's all subjective, but all I do is pay the bills just like the king does. That's all I do. I don't wash clothes. I don't clean up. I don't make my bed. I don't do anything. Okay? That's living like a king, in my opinion. It may not be yours. So certainly living a whole lot better than what I was. Man, people in America, the women certainly, it's like, get it yourself. I was getting ready to go over here, because I'm getting ready to start back on my diet again. But not yesterday. So I get up, I get the bottle. I'm getting ready to go to the store around the corner. Sorry. So, no, the mother said, I got that. See, that's the kind of treatment I get over here. I don't know about anybody else. And most people get that. And my dinner's prepared for me. What's up, Icy? Welcome to the chat. But they'll say because they can't get the same treatment, they'll say you're lying. Or because they can't come over here, they don't have any conversation. If you can't meet a woman online here in the Philippines, you don't need to be coming then. It's the easiest thing you're going to do. There's nothing more difficult. Okay, I mean, there's nothing less difficult than that. Okay, it's more difficult finding a place to exchange your damn money than meeting a woman online. Now tell me I'm lying. Why you think all these guys are like that? See? You know, Q know why he's over here. Because he knows it's easy. And then, you know, you got to realize, okay, does the woman love me for real or not? And do I care? But he's talking all that shit about all those other places, but he got his ass right over here in the Philippines. That's what kills me. He said Thailand has way too many money-hungry hoes. Yeah, I mean, it's just obvious. At least they'll fool you over here. I mean, they'll have you thinking they really love you. At least they good actresses over here. Over there, there's no, from what I'm talking about, the few days I was there. There was no getting online, meeting some regular woman over there. Not in my case. If I was going to meet a woman, I would have had to go on, it was going to be one of those freelancers or somebody on Walking Street or Soy 6. And if I certainly wanted her to live with me, okay, I was going to have to pay her salary, which is what those guys are doing. You know, what did the one guy say? What? 39,000. They want 39. They want $1,000 a month to be your live-in. You know, it just depends on what you're looking for. He said, I've been to Thailand a few times, and it's all about them trying to get your money. Too touristy, and if you're not in the tourist area, good luck with the language. Yeah, and you're bumping all over, foreigners everywhere. That's why I left there, man. You know, like I said, them old disgruntled co-workers and, you know, people bitching. It's always drama. We bringing drama with us. So, you know, yeah, I need expat friends, but I'm going to choose them I'm going to be very picky about the people I deal with. Fortunately, I don't attract people like that. I can imagine people, they come over here to get away from that stuff and they land right into it. Yeah, well, you know, here's my thing. I watch the same vlogs y'all watch. And I don't like every vlog. I don't agree with everything they say, but I don't troll them. I don't make videos about them. It shows the people who you are. But he made my point for me. This guy's about 5'7", 5'8", about 300 pounds. But he's got a woman over here. Looks like Fred Flintstone. But when I said the men is the prize over here, he said, I'm lying to y'all. Well, you make my case for me, you fat, sloppy bastard. You know, probably got psychological problems too, you know. But this is what I'm talking about. You leave America to escape stuff like that. I didn't come over here for that. He said fat people need love too. Absolutely. And you can get it here. You're certainly going to get it here. He said, what's up, Cal? The earthquake just keeps coming. I'm on my recon of where I would live over there. Yeah, man. That's crazy that the epicenter was on a whole other island. And we felt it. But you know, those faults run up under the water and everything. It's all connected for real. But yeah, it seems like every day. Yeah, they always talk about the infrastructure. I don't know what they're talking about. I don't know what the infrastructure is talking about. I mean, what? They're really talking about modern stuff and fancy stuff everywhere. That's what I'm talking about. And, if you don't believe me, okay, now, because people are talking about Cambodia, right? I've been watching, y'all watch Jim's Asian Adventures. He's in Cambodia now. And when I was watching and Marilyn came in, she thought he was still in the Philippines. But everything's phenomenal. And it's all subjective. He's having a good time over there. But believe it or not, the Philippines, man, at one time was over all those countries. Now, what happened, I don't know. It's none of my business. I'm not going to worry about that. Yeah, yeah. Thank you. Even the ones that you bring from America from the Philippines to America, they change. But they're like us because they're trying to be the ambassadors. They're carrying the flag for the Filipinos coming behind them. So yeah, they're going to put forth their best foot. They're going to put their best foot forward. But no, once they make it across the shore to the shores of America, they're done as far as I'm concerned. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, they aren't the same. But they'll say anything just to argue with you, Jacob. There's a big difference. I want the original. Okay, I'm sorry. I don't want any of that generic stuff, and that's just generic. That's all I'm saying. Hey, Laura, thank you for the super chat. She says, have a good day, evening, people. Be smart. Gotta run. Nice seeing you, Sunshine supporters. Thank you. I really appreciate it. But a lot of the guys who always talk about the Philippines, they got a Filipino woman, though. That's what, that don't make sense to me. He says the end of times will be man-made, nuclear war, not by nature. I believe you, because if war's in the air, man. Well, they're predicting the big one over here. Okay, they're predicting a big one over here, and I'm starting to get worried that it may be sooner rather than later. They've already predicted a 9.0 for the Philippines. And they said it's probably going to happen somewhere up in Luzon by Manila. And man, these damn earthquakes is coming every day, man. It's like, it's got me worried. It really has me worried. he said, unfiltered black is an absolute moron. He said, everyone that doesn't consider the Philippines is living strictly off word of mouth and can't think within the confines of their own brain. He said, the Philippines is my only choice and I'm black. It's all subjective, man. Wherever you are happy, okay. See, just like him. He said, I'd rather live in Africa. Okay. Well, I mean, we're not going to argue about that. Wherever you're happy, just be happy. We're all related, man. It's all connected. You're still on planet Earth. I don't get it, man. Okay. I think that what happens is people try to convince you that they picked their retirement is better than yours. We're always competing and comparing. It's all subjective. You can't, we'll be arguing all day about that. And so I don't argue about that anymore. If you're happy, man, just be happy. He said, sounds like the honeymoon's over. If it ever was. But to be honest with you, he's like a lot of the guys I'm telling you about. They come for the woman. Okay, you get the woman, now what? He didn't do his research. You shouldn't be over here in the Philippines complaining about nothing. because it's all there. We live in an age of information. Anything you want to know about anything is out there. If you show up and something's not to your satisfaction, that's your fault. Well, it's all out there. But we coming over here chasing a woman. That's all our retirement is going to be about. It's somebody else, something outside of you. You're going to be miserable. And then you're going to want to go to Thailand, okay? And then you're going to want to go to Vietnam. Then you're going to want to go to Malaysia, Brazil, and all those places. Wherever you go, there you are. There's enough here that I can find something to do. But I live a simple life. No two people are the same. No two retirements are the same. So you can't tell me all the Philippines is not good. It is good for me because it gives me everything that I need. And my daughter's here. Okay, but y'all are crazy, man. The stuff y'all talk, that's stuff that that's the type of arguments that we can do without. Okay, you can have it all as far as I'm concerned. I think it has a lot to do with, he says, why does kitchen appliances cost an arm and a leg in the Philippines? Is because of the import tax. It has a lot to do with volume too, and a lot of these trade agreements. Because you would think that the gadgets and stuff like that would cost less over here because it's in such close proximity to China, South Korea, Japan, all the places, where we get that stuff from in America. But it has a lot to do with the trade agreements, man. America's a bully, man. America has got, not only are we bullies, but we've got the market. We've got the consumer market over there. People want to give us a deal, Q. They want our business because we ban so much stuff over and over and over, man. If you an international businessman without the American market, man, you're not going to make it, man. Let's just be honest. Okay, I'm sorry. That's why the Philippines doesn't have that market. He said, I'll be glad to get my white ass back to Asia. But you got common sense, Roger, and we're about the same age. It don't take a whole lot. We've been there and done that. I went around the world when I was in the Navy. I partied every night, man. I was telling Merlin that. When I got out of the military and I moved to Cincinnati, Ohio, this is no lie. We used to go out every single night, every day of the month. So all that stuff, man, I've done all that. We knew where ladies' night was. We knew where who had the best happy hour. Every club had its own night, and that's where we would go. Mr. Kelly's, Skippers, Jellos, all those clubs, man, we went out every single night. And then when you get home and you wake up and you have to go to work, you're like, man, I ain't going out tonight. I'm tired. I'm going to come back home and I'm going to go to bed. Man, the minute the clock strikes 4:30 or whatever it was, we already making plans to go out again. See, I'd have done that. That's all I'm saying. So when you get 62, it's like, in your mind, you might think that's the life you're going to live over in these places, but it's really not. You're going to take your old ass home and sit down somewhere. You might go to the beach every now and then. Most of your time is going to be spent at home. Okay, with your woman, with your family. And then you're going to create a routine around that. You're not going to be partying every night. If you do, you're not going to last long over here. Look at my buddy John. He cocked out at 61. He hadn't even collected his Social Security yet. Because the drink is cheap here. Smoking is cheap over here. The pussy is cheap over here. You're going to kill yourself. So slow down, man. I met Roger over here when he was on his, I think he was here for 90 days, if I'm not mistaken. Vietnam, Thailand, Philippines. See, you can have it all. You don't have to stay stuck in one place. Not one time did I see him with a woman. He said, guys sending money to people they never met before. It's crazy. He said, I'm talking about thousands of dollars, not a few hundred. Yeah. But remember, we've had this talk over and over and over where something goes on. Remember when you suffer from chronic loneliness, isolation, you haven't had a woman, certainly that looks like the women we chat with online, you go crazy. It's temporary insanity. That's the only thing I can chalk it up to, Thomas, but that's what it is. It's temporary insanity. And then, they start playing peekaboo with you. Then when you get over here and it's right there in front of you like that, you see the 24-year-old, you 64. You haven't seen a 24-year-old since she was 24. You lose, you become discombobulated. You spend a whole lot more money. You start spending money you don't got. There's men who get stuck over here. They got all intentions of going back home. They got their round trip ticket in their hand. They only going to be over here for 2 or 3 weeks. It never happens. They end up staying. The ticket goes bad. They go broke. So it is crazy. It's temporary insanity. And even the young guys do it. They want you to think, oh, I'm dating dime pieces like this in my country. You lying. You lying. Bullshit. I'm sorry. Yeah, but it is crazy. That's exactly what it is. He said, brothers, I almost quit my job every day. Man, I couldn't begin to imagine what you're dealing with, man. There's no way I could go back to that workforce, man. I'm sorry, I couldn't do it. I'd have to work remotely. I'd have to open up some type of store or something. There's no way I could punch that clock again. He said, I might quit tomorrow. Okay, he said, I enjoy those 3 months. Man, I could say, look, I think you're on my intro. You're certainly on my video that I made. Look, I could see the smile on your face. But I got a simple life over here. I'm happy with it, man. I'm not going to argue with people about, oh, it's better over here. Okay, well, stay your ass over there and have a good time. I'm all for that. My hat's off to you. He said all of Asia is acceptable to the big one. Man, they've certainly, the Philippines is right on the ring of fire, though. It's really bad. I've never seen anything like what's happened these last couple of weeks. He said, always out skirt chasing, drinking, and you're not going to make it. You're not going to make it. Because there's fantasy and then there's reality. When you get over here, reality kicks in. And when that young girl wants it back to back, and you can't give it to her back to back, and when you try, you're going to start filling yourself up with them blue pills. Then they got a red pill now. Rouge or something that comes across my screen all the time. Because the algorithm knows who watches my channel. They got the red pill and the blue pill now. You're going to end up having a heart attack. You better come over here and see what it's really like over here. Are you going to check out? You'd be lucky if you did. Instead of laying in that bed like that man's laying in bed. I keep bringing him up, man, because that's a nightmare, man. He's somewhere in between life and death. He don't even know what's going on. That's no way I want to live my 4th quarter like that. With some woman taking care of, I cannot take care of myself. No, man, I'm sorry. So I'm going to do the work before, which a lot of people aren't doing. You're sitting there now with a plate of nachos and that old processed cheese and stuff. Because you think I got forever to get this together. I'm not going to worry about retirement until I retire. Man, 70 years young. That's young in today's world. He don't know what's coming or what's going. He said, hey, Cal, you talking my era in Cincinnati. Man, I love Cincinnati. And see, that's another thing. When I moved to Cincinnati, I got out of the service, and people was like, man, Cincinnati's nothing. They were saying the same thing about Cincinnati that they say about the Philippines. I'm like, well, man, I'm having a damn good time here. I love Cincinnati. Man, I went up and I got on my feet quick there. I mean, really quick. But he was like, what are you doing? What's going on? But yeah, these guys, man, there's real life and then there's fantasy. A lot of guys watching this, man, they're living in fantasy, man. You don't know what's really going on over here, man. You think you can handle these young women over here, man? Sorry. You can't. A lot of guys, they want a young woman, but they end up with a mature woman because they're like, okay, I can do it 3 times a day, but, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I can't do it 1, 2, 3, because, once you hit that nut, you're like, I don't even touch me, just get up back over there. Get up and get something to eat. He said peekaboo's game is off the chains for thirsty dudes. And see, they take it to a whole other level, man. I'm telling you, because it happened to me, man. Okay. When I first came to the Philippines, me and my wife, we were separated. So we getting ready to go through divorce. And of course, I'm on a dry spell and I meet the young lady. And at this time in 2009, the internet cafe is a big deal over here. Man, she was taking her shirt and everything off in the internet cafe. And I was like, man, my wife was a little Shirley. Okay. After 4 kids, she was a little Shirley. Okay. Big boned, it wasn't even the word for it. Okay. You can't say fat. But yeah, she was fat. And to go from that to this, it's temporary insanity. So when people say, oh, Cal, ain't me, you lying. But I don't really know your situation, though. I'm just telling you what happened to me. Okay? You lose it. And then when I finally get over here, it's even worse. Hell, you got to realize you got to go all the way back to 2009. What would that be in today's dollars? I spent $23,000 on an engagement ring. I fed a whole barangay. This is no lie. I fed a whole barangay, man. My nose was open. I'm way down in northern Mindanao because they said, man, don't go to Mindanao. They're going to, what do they call it? Salvage you. I didn't even know what salvage means. That means kill you and cut your head off and put your head somewhere else and your body somewhere else. Well, hell, I'm like, I don't even know what salvage is. I'm going anyway. Man, that was the best 6 months of my life. And it's worse when you see in person, man. I mean, this was perfect. I can't even remember, when I was a teenager seeing something that perfect. Well, I consider myself a good man. Good looking is all subjective. It's hard for me to look at myself and be like, oh, I'm good looking. It's all subjective. My money looks good. As you get older, like Jacob Tande says, that pension is sexy. But my looks has never stopped me, prevented me from getting what I wanted. But this over here is something totally different. Guys don't know what they're dealing with. It's crazy. They think they know. They think they're ready for it. You're not ready for it, man. What's up, Angelo? congratulations, man. You know, you're going to be happy soon. Angelo, my buddy from Canada. He got some good news. Congratulations. I think you back on the hamster wheel, right? He said, you always look good with a pocket full of money. Yeah. You know, but guys, you know, I'm just saying that, you know, we over here living it, Thomas. All they do is talk about it. I just try to be transparent, um, and be open and honest with you guys to kind of give you an inkling of what you're dealing with, man. When you're talking about uh, women who were literally, I was talking to Kyle the other day. He was like, it's strange that these women over here, they'll do anything for you, man. I said, yeah, it comes for a price, but he's telling the truth, man. I can't remember ever being with a woman that would do anything for you. And you know, you just got to experience it by yourself. And until you experience it, you'll never know what I'm talking about. And that woman had my nose wide open, man. Because I'm like, I was engaged. This was an engagement party. Okay? It's crazy, man, when I think about it now. But when I try to share my experience with y'all ain't listening. Like, well, that was you, Cal. I'm younger. I'm better looking. It don't matter, man. Had a damn engagement party. It was funny now that I can remember. I was crazy, boy, but for good reason. I ain't seen nothing like that. He said, tell him, you know, 3 to 5 hours. Like, you know how you feel like when you get there, you know, you don't want to be bothered. Like, just scoot on over there. First of all, you all hugged up and everything, you know, kissing and everything. The minute you hit that nut, you was like, if you don't get the furthest from me that you can be, leave me alone. He said, yeah, because I remember you saying, do I look like Coco Martin or Chris Brown? Look at me and see how I'm winning. Yeah, it's true, though, but you can't convince guys. They'll tell you, oh, I'm younger than you. It doesn't apply to the young guys. It does. 18 to 80. Blind, crippled, or crazy. If you old enough to apply for that visa, it applies to you. You ain't no different. You're not going to get anything different than I'm going to get, and I'm 62. You can be 22 with a six-pack, muscles everywhere. Your muscles got muscles. You're not going to get anything better than what I've got. We're going to get the same thing. I'm sorry. And that's what, that's what the game is over here. But you got guys who, they just won't come quietly. These nuts. They come kicking and screaming, oh, look, but I'm young, Cal. I'm good looking. I got a six-pack and this and that. Dude, it don't matter. Do you got a pension? He said, I know what you're saying. He said, I live in the Philippines for 10 years. Now I live in Vietnam. Yeah, you can have it all, really. You don't have to. That's one good thing about being in the Philippines or Thailand or Southeast Asia, anywhere in Southeast Asia. You're just a hop, skip, and a jump from anywhere else. At some point, you might get tired and say, okay, I want to move to Vietnam. I want to move to Thailand, Malaysia, Bali, Cambodia, or whatever it is. And you can do it. And you really things only going to get better for real. Certainly the cost of living. But what I've noticed is a lot of guys, they end up taking their woman with them, though. I can say what you want about, the Philippines, but evidently they got the best women. Y'all making my case for me. I don't see anybody going to Thailand, getting a Thai woman, bringing her to the Philippines. Yeah, the young, you guys only think, your mind says, oh yeah, I can handle her. I'm still, I'm 62, but I feel 42. No, fucker, you 62. Okay. You ain't got nothing with these little 23, 24-year-old girls. The ones who, because eventually they're going to get comfortable with you. Yeah, the first few weeks or something like that. Yeah, you might can hit it and she'll, you know, get back on her phone. But once she starts getting into you and she starts liking it, she going to want that thing 1, 2, 3. And you, all you can do is one, then 3 or 4 hours later, two, and 3 or 4 hours later, three. That'll humble you. I've been humbled over here, man. I've been humbled. And they sitting there, even though, because I was watching a commercial the other day, but they were talking about what's so good about Viagra when, yeah, you hard down there, but you don't, you're not in the mood or you don't feel like doing anything. And that's what happens. You can be as hard as you want. Hey, Michael, what's up, man? Did y'all get that? They said that earthquake was, Bago City was the epicenter. I know you in Bantayan Island. We felt it. He said, I was tapping out quick. Yeah, man, you're thinking, you'll be like, well, just suck my titties or whatever. Like, I don't even want to touch you. Get over there. Yeah, they'll humble you. He said, I need to be humbled. He said, well, I'm just saying, why even put the place down, TJ? That's all I'm saying. If you're happy wherever you are, because that's what the whole point of the video is. This is the Philippines. It is what it is. No matter what you say about it, whether you build it up or put it down. It is what it is. You can't change the Philippines. Philippines can change you. So I don't see why people go around and around about it. Okay, it's the Philippines. If you don't like it, don't come. Or if you love it, then go ahead and stay. That's all I'm saying. That's all I was saying. I didn't get to the point where I'm not going to argue with people. If you're happy wherever you are, um, then do it. He said, hey, YouTube, Uncle Cal, these non-channel affiliate haters anger me, spitting venom on your name just to claim fame. Yeah, God bless you and keep doing what you're doing. I'll continue to support your channel. Yeah, I appreciate it, man. It comes with the territory, and if they ain't hating, then you ain't doing anything. It says more about them than me. I don't worry about it. I ignore it. They know where I am. I was naive enough to put my address and everything on YouTube, my government name, and that's just how it is, man. But it just shows you how feminine men have become. See, I didn't grow up in an era like that. I'm 62, man. I really grew up. I grew up around real men. If they didn't like you, then they told you, they fought you or whatever it was, and then you was friends the next day. But this stuff that people are doing nowadays, man, it's too feminine for me. He said, yeah, we felt it big time. And again last night. Yeah, that's what I mean last night. He said, I love Javanese girls, big titty capital of the Philippines. It's just that, man, I'm going to be honest with you. When you see it for the first time after looking at Big Shirley and Little Shirley and all them over there, it's temporary insanity. That's all I can say. Ask Mike. Y'all didn't see his woman on the... I interviewed Michael Watkins. I didn't interview his woman. He got a fine young woman. I know he's got to tap out because I think we're the same age. It's crazy. But a lot of it's just jealousy, man. I don't like all the vloggers, man. I don't agree with what they say, but I just keep scrolling. I wasn't brought up like that, man. I don't come from that era. I mean, that's bitch, that's woman behavior, man. That's female behavior. I just don't, okay. You don't like what I'm saying, you don't like, keep scrolling. I don't troll people. I certainly don't make videos about them and stuff like that. I don't talk down about them. I just keep going. And, eventually I forget all about it. He said, "Oh, Indonesia, yeah. Well, hell, you go down in the right places in Mindanao. Hell, my ex-wife was 36, 26, 36 when I met her, and weighed 100 pounds. You're gonna see some crazy stuff, man. As an older, as an older man, and like I said, you used to dealing with that garbage over there. Only time you really getting dime pieces is when you was a dime piece yourself." He said, "Do you think you will ever go back to Brazil?" Well, I doubt it because, Booby, man, has a lot to do with my situation now. I really can't leave my daughter. I can't leave it up to anybody else to make sure that she's okay. Because, I see uh, the children, the lives that a lot of children over here are forced to live. And, now that I've got a daughter over here, see, my two sons, they're in America. I don't really worry about them too much. Although, as they get older, I do, but right now I don't. But Booby's a different story. And she really controls my movements, really. When I said that 100% of my decisions are based on Booby, they really are. I mean, 100% of them. Where I'm going, how long I'm going, my savings, everything. So yeah, I won't. I should have went, like shoulda, coulda, woulda, when I was in America because I really love Brazil. I really love Rio de Janeiro. It's it's a fantasy in my mind. Okay, that was fantasy and reality converging together when I went there. I'm just being honest with you. Um, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna lie. He said, "Yeah, man, she be chasing me around the house." Man, I mean, when you preaching to the choir, I'm happy with what I got, man. I'm really happy with what I got because I can't handle it. I can't handle it right now at my age. Uh, and then it's good to look at. You know, yeah. See, now you making my point for me. Q, this is the best thing you said all day. He said, "I used to pinch myself being with a young, beautiful woman in the Philippines, but millions of pesos later, I no longer do that." That's what I'm telling you. That's the easiest thing that you're gonna deal with over here. So why do we put so much effort and so much uh, thought into it and money into it when you're gonna need all that money and stuff for everything else over here? I mean, it's just I don't know what else to say. I don't really talk about relationships because what else can you say that hasn't already been said? That you can just all you got to do is turn on the YouTube. Okay, let me give you an example. What's the channel of the guy who got the hair transplant? What's that? It's Me. You see him. You see what he's got. I mean, you just see okay, all of them. But I mean, so what more proof do you need? I mean, but people try to convince you that they can get it at home. Okay, it's okay. Now this is a guy. I'm gonna tell you something. He's about my age. He's living a life in Bantayan Island. That's where I'm coming, though. Okay, that's where I'm coming, Michael. I've already scoped out the place. I'm gonna pay about $350 a month. He said I'm like you, Cal. No matter what people say, the Philippines is for me, and I'm still chilling so hard that I feel guilty. Yeah, man, I don't understand uh what the argument is about. I just be happy wherever you are. Nobody gets bored as quickly as me. I'm telling you now. I'm a Gemini. I get bored quick. I've never gotten bored with the Philippines. That's why I'm still here. If I would have got bored with it, I'd be gone a long time ago. I can live anywhere I want. It's a lot of places I can live. I choose to live here because it checks all the boxes. And then I've got my daughter here, but I'd take her with me if I really wanted to leave. I'd take them all with me. He said, I heard Rio's pretty dangerous. I guess it could be. When I was there, it was in different times. Um, I can't really speak on Brazil. It's been so long since I've been there. I'm just telling you, I just remember the good stuff. Because we was only there, we was there 5 days and 4 nights. I mean, it was just like nothing I'd ever seen before. It started, man, to working, man. I'm talking about the first time I'd ever seen a fishnet bikini, man. Go look online what a fishnet bikini is. I'm talking about in real life person, not on some porn site or something, a video or something, man. I'm talking about these women were wearing fishnet bikinis. You sitting there in Copacabana, we're drinking coffee or whatever we were drinking at the time, and they just walking by like it's nothing, man. And these damn, I'm talking about before everybody was wearing G-strings. That's where the G string was invented over in Rio de Janeiro. Man, honestly. I mean, you just ain't. I mean, at that time, Rio uh, was considered to have the most beautiful women in the world. I don't know if that's still the case, but certainly at that time it was. And I was ended up with a school teacher. She was. They were selling themselves, but it was only like $10 then. And she was the most beautiful woman I'd ever seen before. I mean, she was a brunette. The pussy hair was brunette. It was all, I mean, and she said, yeah, she took off from school for those 4 days because she said, I'm going to earn more money in these 4 days than I will all year. I can remember stuff like that. And we were in a taxi, we rolled past the big, the statue of Jesus and everything. See, at this time, this is in the 80s when I was in Brazil. This has been a long time ago. Um, you couldn't, in Rio de Janeiro, with certain clubs, you couldn't get into as a single man. You had to have a woman with you. And I never understood that, even to this day. But but some clubs, you had to have a woman with you. But the club I met this woman in, because these were just regular women, they really wasn't prostitutes. They were there to get the money. They bust in like 20,000 women to make sure that there was enough women there for us. We spent $20 million. Our ship did in 5 days. He said, I won't consider myself a YouTube success. The sick grandpa makes a video about me. Some of it's funny, but some of it, man, they go too far. It's no use for that, man. I wouldn't, a friend of mine, Smiley, he said, Cal, he said, what makes these guys so comfortable to make those type of videos about people? They're not going to learn a lesson to somebody beats them down or shoots them or whatever it is. But you see, it's not that many of them. You got to have something loose up here. Yeah, you think you're going to break that back. You got one good one in you, and then you ain't got nothing else coming. He said, speaking about your daughter, I remember a while back you posted about sorting her U.S. papers with the embassy. Has that all been settled now? No, we're waiting on the DNA kits to arrive in Manila, we got to do the DNA, which I don't care. I'm just going to do like this to them, because they know that's my daughter. They know we had enough, but they want to give you problems. I actually asked them. I got the email to show you, but they want to act like everything you've given us is no good. So the last thing is the DNA. Okay. Because I thought it was going to be more. Somebody told me it was $700 each, but no, it's altogether $750. It's $750. It's $575 for me and Merlin's together, and then $175 for Boobies. And once the embassy gets it, they'll set us up an appointment, and then they'll come and swab the inside of our mouth. It takes 6 to 8 weeks. I'm happy, for that to get it over with. He said she came twice. I came last. Roll the grass. Yeah. And that's usually what I try to do. That way you can get ahead of that. You go on and get out first, and that way your little 3 minutes of fame or whatever it is, you can get that on over with, and you don't feel guilty about it. Because a woman, she comes more than once. From what I learned, they got a lot of little bitty explosions all the way up to the big one. You get one big explosion. Yeah, this is why we have to be careful about making the woman the number one focus. I said this 1,000 times. Eventually, the dust is going to settle. And you're going to be like, well, is this all it is? But then if you got a well enough plan put together, and you can, the woman is part of that plan, man, it can go on forever. It can go on forever. But most of us don't do that. We put the woman front and center, and the focus is all there. The money's all there. The fun is all there. Without her, life in the Philippines is nothing. Well, I'm telling you, for somebody that's been over here for a long, long time, that's not the way to do it. While you making those trips back and forth, or while you over here, you should be looking around at what this place really has to offer. I love the beaches, man. I just love it. I love nature. It's just, and it's just close enough where I can get there if I want to, and it's affordable enough that I don't have to break the bank. It's 82 degrees year round here. That's the average temperature. I mean, what more could I ask for as a 62-year-old man? I'm sorry, man. I'm not going to be getting on these planes, jumping around and stuff like that. If you did enough research, you would be in your assigned place right now. You would be at your post already. You wouldn't be somewhere, decide, well, should I be here or should I be there? No, if you did your research and your due diligence and everything like that, made your trips and all that, because we're too much in a hurry, you wouldn't be having second thoughts on being somewhere else or being burnt out somewhere. You would be at your assigned destination. He says, I know what you mean, Cal. I almost went to Brazil before I decided to the Philippines and met my wife. The English is all that matters. Is all that made my decision, because the bodies are definitely over there. Yeah, and the thing about the Philippines too, certainly when it comes to dating, is over in Brazil, I found myself fantasizing a lot. They're closer to America, and their culture is different. You see a beautiful woman and you got to fantasize. Over here, you don't have to fantasize. You can participate. And, I like that about the Philippines. Yeah, yeah. I mean, but, here's the thing. The only reason why people like him keep going is because they got an audience. You got a lot of other immature, sick people that follow stuff like that. I mean, I just didn't grow up in an era like that. I wouldn't consider myself a man for making videos about somebody else. It's not just him. It's a bunch of guys that do that. Yeah, he said he's in the province. Uh, see, that's a mistake you made. I don't know why you would. If you listen, guys, because before I get off of here, while I'm remembering this, when you first come to the Philippines, you don't go to the province. I don't care how young you are, old you are, whatever it is. You go to one of these expat alley cities, man, and you get acclimated. You don't follow some woman to the province, man. You can visit there. Okay, you're gonna have. You want to have a soft landing. You don't want to hit the ground like that, man. You're gonna hit the ground like with a thud. You're gonna be like, man, what in the world? No wonder why you got the attitude about the Philippines that you do. If you live in a province for real. Hell, I've been over here all these years. I wouldn't be in the province. Okay, they wouldn't be there unless they had to be there. So y'all let's talk about province. That's a choice, but I wouldn't do it because I got a guy on here, Sperling Edwards. I consider him a friend. He lives in the province now, but it's not the province. But he lived in Iloilo for his first 2 years. Now he lives in La Plata, in Antique, which is on that same island. I guess he said about 2 hours from Iloilo. He didn't move straight to the province like that. Crazy. Yeah, you're not gonna, man. If you're looking for beautiful women, you come to the right place when you come to um, Brazil. I mean, you can't deny that. He said, if you have a good woman, he says, I don't think it should be a problem. What do you mean in the province? Well, from somebody, are you just talking about in the Philippines, period? Thanks for that super chat, Unfiltered Black Abroad. He says, you be here long enough, suddenly you start seeing the cracks in this place and understand why people don't retire in the Philippines. Well, who are you talking about? I mean, you're unhappy, man. It's a lot of people who are happy over here. But this is coming from a 30-year-old man. I believe you said you were 30, who lives in the province of the Philippines, who's probably hit a wall. Maybe you need to take a trip somewhere. Go to Boracay somewhere. Panglao Bahal. Palawan. Okay, if all you're doing is sitting around looking at a hollow block houses all damn day with metal roofs, okay, and chickens on leashes, roosters on leashes and stuff, I don't blame you. But you, man, you haven't even scratched the surface of seeing the Philippines. To say you start seeing the cracks in this place. You haven't scratched the surface. There was a guy that I interviewed, his name is Bruce. He lived in Thailand. He's been over there over 20 years. He made a whole trip around the Philippines on his motorcycle. He said, Calvin, there's some eighth wonder of the world type stuff in the Philippines. He said, but when you get there, nobody's there. Because they go to the same handful of places here, just like they do in Thailand. There's so much that you haven't seen over here, you know. But if you're unhappy, hell, you're unhappy. Well, do something about it. Like Napoleon Hill said, if nothing else, you can remove yourself from the situation. Oh, you're welcome, man. He said, thanks for the public live stream. I do once a month or something. He said, I just answered my own question. If you have enough money, you can get anything, even in the Philippines. I just need to pay the right person and I can get me some weed out there. Yeah, but man, you don't want to deal with that weed out here, man. I'm sorry. Yeah, he said the same person will rat you out to the police. Yeah. Or you give them the money, then they'll rat you out. So then they'll keep your money. Yeah, I wouldn't want. Don't fool with drugs over here either. There's guys that do it. There was two foreigners over here that was strung out. Maryland, when I first moved to San Carlos City, Maryland was showing them to me. They were with a Filipino. It was the Filipino's dead. Somebody killed her. I don't know what happened to the two foreigners. They were strung out on methamphetamine. Probably done overstayed their visas, obviously. It's looking real dirty, real ornery. But you don't want to deal with drugs over here, man. They got a real drug war over here, man. It's not the United States where they catch you with weed and you get arraigned. They write you a ticket or whatever it is. Hey, what's up, Jack? He said, man, Paradise has dinghy. I've had it for a week waiting for it to run its course. Oh, man. Where'd you catch it? Do you got standing water over by where you are? Or were you over by the ocean or something? That's another thing, guys. Bring that off lotion if you're around any water. Because I don't have problems with mosquitoes here. But if I go like Siquijor Island and different places, if you go down that boulevard in Dumaguete, yeah, you better have some. What?
What is ready?
Okay. He said there's cracks in all nations. Yeah, and if we do find utopia, we're going to fuck it up. We're human beings. But it just sounds like he's bored. All he's looking at is the four walls. He don't have any more expats to hang out with. You know, he hasn't seen the beauty of the Philippines. He's in the province. Hell, I've been here for almost 17 years, and I get bored. I don't even do that. Yeah, the province. Hey, thank you, darling May. He said, you and your videos are a major help to me regarding my personal search and learning about the Philippines before my trip. Thanks again, Cal. You're welcome. You know, but at the end of the day, we got to do our own research. I don't want to hear another person. Don't do that, guys. If somebody interviews you, don't be talking about these vloggers are lying because you're not watching all the vloggers. They're not lying. What are they lying about? They always saying, oh, they're lying. And when that guy said, oh, they said that all Filipinos speak English, I'm like, dude, are you just making that up? I mean, why would you say that? When it's obvious, anybody, of course, that's one of the reasons people come here because so many people, okay, can speak English. But they certainly don't speak it. Why would they? They're at home. They're in the Philippines. He said, now we see why. Yeah, the province. Yeah, province isn't for everyone. Certainly a young guy like him, there's no malls, there's no nothing. Yeah, man. Man, look. He says, Cal, remember what you said about when you were in the province, something about laying on the ground to use it. Man, all provinces aren't the same. If he's in the province, he's sick. He's bored shitless. Okay. But every province isn't the same. But I went to a province it was either Davao del Norte or Davao del Sur. Norte being the north, del Sur being the south. I met the girl in Davao. And we I thought we were going to be a couple, but we never did. But I did go out to her family's house, and they lived in the province. And, the bathroom was just a damn porcelain. It was like a plate with a hole in the ground. I didn't know that you're supposed to squat and use the toilet. So I took off all my clothes. I laid on my back to use the bathroom. Not realizing, man, when I get up, the back of me is wet. And I ended up having to, hire somebody to take me back. Because it got so late, we couldn't catch the bus. We caught the bus there. But on the way back, I had to hire somebody. And, this was like 2010 or something. And 800 pesos was a lot to pay somebody. But I didn't care. He said, exactly. That's why I came to the Philippines as a single man. I found where I wanted to live, and then I found my lady. She had no influence on where I wanted to live. And this is what happens. This is what happens 100% of the time. That's the reason why I'm in San Carlos City now, because Merlin lives here. Yeah, yeah, you're down the border, man. Get out of there. Where are you anyway? Are you close to Manila? Are you close to Cebu? Where are you close to? I mean, hell, take your wife somewhere, man. Get out of that bed. You done pounded the woman to death. Pussy sore. You done beat the damn pussy up. She's pregnant. You probably still pumping it. Get a girl a break, man. Take her somewhere with your cheap ass. No wonder why you bored. Yeah. Yeah, the roosters on strings. Yeah, on leashes. Because, it's not because they want to run away, but I think it's because they don't want to be stolen. But yeah, you see a whole bunch of, you'll be like, damn, they got like a dog house, they got rooster houses. The roosters be on chains and shit. Now you don't have to take her with you, man. I can imagine what you done to that girl. These young guys coming over here. Then a thirsty old man, but imagine a thirsty a young man. Yeah, all provinces aren't the same. They really ain't. Some provinces that are just in a rural area, but they're not all the same. Argyle is a place that I enjoy. When I went to Argyle in 2010, I saw at the time, it was Gloria Arroyo. She was the president. Whatever resort it was we were staying on, we were leaving. So we're right at the entrance of the resort on the main road. And her caravan comes down the road. And she's in one of those little small SUV type things. And she's waving to everybody. And I probably was from here, I probably wasn't 10 feet from her. Yeah, you done beat the young girl up, Q. Give her a break. Like, damn. He said she's been. I can imagine. Yeah, he's going out the back on the regular. He's the one doing 1, 2, 3 back to back. Yeah, yeah. Gloria Arroyo. He was the president at the time. Yeah, take her somewhere, man. She would enjoy that. That's just like my buddy Sheldon. He came here. He was going to come straight to San Carlos City. I said, no, man, you flying into Manila. Fly your girl there. Take her to Boracay. Man, he said she was on the phone every 5 minutes. Man, she couldn't believe it. She was in Boracay. That's like a dream to them. They could never imagine going to Boracay. You take them to Boracay, somewhere like that, have the time of your life. But yeah, man, that was Merlin, man. My food's ready, man. Thank y'all for your super chat, super stickers, all your thumbs up, all your support for Sunshine Shoulders. I appreciate it, man. I'll be in no, it's not a disaster. I'll be in Dumaguete next week for they've got a festival going on in Dumaguete. And we're going there. Maryland wants to go to a bodybuilding contest to support the bodybuilders here. I'm going for my visa extension. But yeah, I appreciate it. I don't know what's for lunch. It's lunchtime here. I don't know what Maryland cooked in there. Probably shrimp, probably. He said, yeah, keep pounding her, bro. She can't get pregnant now. And he done busted the girl up. She ain't gonna have nothing left after she have the baby. Hey, thank y'all, man. I appreciate it. Take care.